Previously on The Rose Diaries.
My grief from losing Jack pushed me over the edge, and I was sent to a mental institution.
He is dead and gone, lady.
Cal Hockely, my ex-fiance, had shot me on the beach. The doctors said I died. For 2 minutes my heart had stopped. The police put me in the witness protection program. I had an FBI agent who went everywhere with me. There were more survivors from Titanic. I had to know, was Jack still alive?
Slowly, he started to defrost, just like a frozen hot dog.
Jack's still alive? Holy fudgebug! I was in complete shock. My dearest Jack was still alive? I showed the letter to my bodyguard. I needed to know I wasn't going mad.
I'd like you to read this.
Rose, you have to find Jack.
Yes, that's what I thought.
We spent the night celebrating together. I was positively giddy with joy. I hadn't danced like this since that night on the lower deck. I was still a little shaky from the brain injury. I fractured 2 ribs and broke a toe, but I didn't care. Jack was alive. The next morning I got up bright and early. I borrowed a bicycle from an old lady, and my bodyguard and I started the long trip back to New York.
You won't keep still!
I can't keep still!
No, I can't catch up with you!
Speed up!
No!
My, oh my, wasn't there a big commotion? When word broke there were more survivors from Titanic, everyone in London had to sneak a gander. Poor boy was in bad shape, shivering like a leaf. He was transported out of London to one of the Queen's finest hospitals. That's where I first laid eyes on him. He was exhausted and quickly slipped into a deep sleep. I never left his side, delivering him his medicine as I see fit. He had no ID, and there was no record of him on Titanic. So who was this mysterious boy found alive? I thought about what he must have gone through that night. Was soon dead from the icy cold water, but he wasn't dead, no. He was only asleep. I would check on him at night. He was lost in his dreams. For days on end, he slept. We had the finest team of ladies searching frantically for his identity.
Yes, ma'am. If you hold just a moment, I'll get a supervisor.
And then we got a call. We weren't prepared for what we were about to hear.
It felt as though we'd been riding for years. On our way back to New York, back to Jack. We stopped at a small village to rest and get supplies. It was then I saw something truly shocking. I snatched the poster from the wall and studied it closely. I felt as if the world was closing in. It was Jack. I was sure of it. Had Jack been lying to me? Was he actually a criminal? I felt like I was standing on the precipice of madness yet again. Did I really know Jack at all? I was so confused.
I felt like I'd been asleep for 100 years. My memories were fuzzy. The doctors said I'd fragmented amnesia. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw her. She was beautiful. But who was she? I couldn't remember my own name, but in my dreams, we danced together under the sea. I had nothing in my pockets but a picture. A picture of her.
It was early morning when we got the tip from Scotland Yard. That boy from Titanic finally had a name.
What's this?
Dawson. Turns out, he was one of America's most wanted outlaws. Oh, and of course he denied it.
Don't you believe them? You know I didn't do it. Come on, let's go. I didn't do it.
But we had proof. They called him the Kid. Fastest gun in the West, some said.
Damn, my fast.
He went on a crime spree right across California. U.S. Marshals had been chasing him for years.
Find Dawson.
Scotland Yard thinks he must have snuck off to France. Tried to lay low. Maybe start a new life. But now we had him. The Court of England prepared the paperwork. The boy was going to prison.
I'd been traveling for days with many wrong turns along the way, but I finally made it back to New York. I hadn't slept worrying about Jack, so I probably looked 20 years older. My mind was racing as I thought about that poster. I needed answers, so I hired an investigator. I had to know, was Jack a criminal? The detective worked tirelessly, knocking on doors and asking questions.
Do you know this boy?
I've no idea, mister.
Finally, he discovered something remarkable.
I found Jack's birth certificate, and he has a twin brother.
That's not possible.
In theory, yes, but in practice, no. Let me show you.
I couldn't believe it when I saw the papers. It all made sense. Jack wasn't an outlaw. It was his brother all along, Zach Dawson. My dearest Jack was innocent, and I had proof. I knew what I had to do. I had to travel back to London and clear Jack's name.
I couldn't remember how I got on Titanic. I couldn't even remember my name. But I knew I was innocent. The police made me sign some paperwork.
If you know what's good for you, you'll sign that confession, Jack.
Then they threw me into a prison cell. It was torture. I felt like I was losing my mind. At least, what was left of it. The guards would torment me, take away my most precious possession.
Where is it?
You mean this?
Give it to me.
At night I sat alone in my cell, trying to remember who I was, trying to remember her. I knew I wasn't a criminal. So, I decided to escape. I snuck past the guards and crept into the warden's office. I searched madly, looking for answers, a clue as to who I was, a way to escape. And then, I found it. I rushed back to my cell and started work. I was gonna make it out of here, find out who I was, and find her.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode. Next time on The Rose Diaries.
Rose, they're going to hang Jack.
I knew I had to escape this jail cell.
Jack and I were finally together, but the police were closing in.
Rose, Cal Hockely won't stop until we're dead.
I love you!
Jack, I'm pregnant.
Jack, we all thought you were dead, like a frozen popsicle.